Hello, families. I want to welcome you back to this session. And this time we're going to be talking about something very important, and it has to do with children. And when we talk about children, we want to talk about the understanding different age groups in children. We have children; they have different ages. We want to understand those different ages and their normal pattern of behaviors, because it's when you understand the normal that you can understand the abnormal pattern of behavior, and then we'll be able to provide solutions to them. So in this session we want to understand what is the normal classification, age group classification in children, and we want to understand how normally they behave. One thing I want us to know is the fact that the first thing is, for a child to behave in a particular way, there are some things that affect how a child behaves. And number one thing is the fact that a child is usually modeled by the parents. And why do I say that? Is because the first set of people that a child relates with when they are born is actually the parents. And there is a particular way that a father models the child. And whichever way you model the child, is the way the child will come out. No, I like to liken a child to like a clean slate. Whatsoever you write on a clean slate is what you see. And I think I want to look at children in terms of, at some ages, like a whiteboard, and you have an eraser. You can still write, and you can still find a way to erase at some particular ages. So today, you should know that the behavior of a child, most of the time, apart from the genetic makeup of that child, is influenced by the adult. Another thing is, children generally, they respond to what they see and to what they hear. You can see this. This is to what they see and to what they hear. Most of the time, when you speak where the child is, when you do some things, like I said in my previous video, I said they learn by imitation. If for a while around your child you keep reading, a child sees you reading all the time, you discover that that child will most likely love to read. And in these times of phones and all these electronic gadgets, if you continually play with your phone all the time around the child, you see that child will love to play with phones later in life. So usually a child in some ages, it's just an illustration we're trying to make, will learn by what they see and what they hear most of the time. But generally, children, they can develop at different rates, because this child might not be the same as this child. But one thing about them is they follow closely related patterns in terms of development and their behavior. And why do I say that? Let's take a particular thing, for example, a development, for example, when a child talks. You want to agree with me that every child does not talk at the same time. No, they don't talk at the same time. This child might talk at this particular age, and they say another child will talk at another age. The same thing with walking. You see a mother say, when my son was at this particular month or year, that's when he started walking. Another month we say, no, my child did not start walking at that particular age. But actually, if you look at it generally, they follow closely related patterns in their development and their behavior. Now, for the purpose of this time, of this discussion, we're going to be looking at different age groups. We follow this pattern. And the pattern we're going to follow in having discussions around their normal behavior, abnormal behavior, and solutions is we're going to look at number one, there's a group called the newborn and infant. And the newborn and infant has to do with age between at birth to 1 year. We will look at the behaviors. And number two, we're going to look at toddlers. There is a set of children called toddlers. Those are children between the year 1 and 3 years. And the next set called child. Who is a child? A child is between the ages of 4 and the age of 12 years. And the last group, they're going to talk about teenagers. Those ones, these are special set of people. And when they say they're special, whoever has a teenager at this point in time will tell us that they are a very special set of people. And those ones are the people between 13 and 19 years. When we get to those ages in our discussion, it's very interesting. They're a very interesting set of people. You will want to hear discussion about them. And if you have a mother or a father and you have a teenager right now, you won't want to miss that. This is still Family Clinic, where we make better families for better societies. Thank you.